All right, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Tony Adler, and I am the race coordinator for the 2020 Baker to Vegas race. And on behalf of the Los Angeles Police Revolver and Athletic Club, we welcome you to the February meeting. This is the second to last meeting before the race itself. So before I forget, next month's meeting, write this down, Wednesday, March the 4th, up here at the Academy. It'll be a live meeting. You'll be hopefully showing up to pick up your t-shirts. We have a bunch still to hand out, and so that'll be starting at noon, Wednesday, March the 4th. That's the next meeting. Before we get going on my presentation today, I'm going to bring up our title sponsor, and that's the Los Angeles Police Federal Credit Union. And I'll have Salvador come up and speak a little bit, and then I'll be back in a few minutes. So.
Good afternoon. My name is Sal Ortega. I'm a business development representative with the Los Angeles Police Federal Credit Union. First and foremost, I would like to say that we here at LAPFCU are proud and honored to be able to be the title sponsor for the 2020 Baker to Vegas race. It's always fun and exciting for us to be able to participate and supporting our law enforcement. Just a few announcements. We are still accepting sponsorship applications for agencies within the LA County area. So if you're within the team for a Los Angeles County agency, please make sure to reach out to us. You can contact me at sortega@lapfcu.org. That's SORTEGA@lapfcu.org. We have received the captain's gifts, which are these really cool padfolios. Make sure to be out at the March meeting so we can give those out to you. The last item on our list, on Friday, April 3rd, we will be having a booth presence at the boxing event, as well as on Sunday, April 5th at the finish line. So please make sure to come out and visit our table. We will be giving some cool gifts away, as well as having some great activities for you guys. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Sal. You know, in addition to the portfolios that they're handing out, Sal mentioned they'll be at the next meeting. But we understand that not all of you are going to be at the next meeting, and we will have them in Las Vegas to hand out. So every team captain will get one. Just so you know, as I know some of you cannot pick up your t-shirts either, and we'll make arrangements to have them picked up in Las Vegas for you. Okay, yesterday I emailed out the notes from this meeting. It included a couple of things, not only the notes, but it included some instructions on should we have a need to pause the race at some point in April. And I'll get to that in a few minutes. But what I forgot to include on that, I don't think I sent, was stage 20, the instructions and the map for stage 20. If I did forget to do that, I'll be sure and send that out in the next email update. T-shirts, as you know, today is the deadline for the t-shirts, and I took a look just before I came up here to the meeting, and I think we were short maybe a dozen teams that haven't submitted it yet. I'll wait till the end of the day. I'm sure they'll start flowing in. Thank you for that. Thanks for your attention to that. The other due date today was for the category form. Pleased to announce they're just about all in. And I know it's a rush. You're trying to assemble your team at this point, and maybe you put in a category just to have it on file for us. And we understand from this point on towards the race that things change. You might fall out of one category or need to move to another category. We understand that, and we will accommodate that. The reason we needed this order right now is because we have to turn around and place an order with the mug company on the number in each category. Now, we can make changes to that number up until about 3 weeks prior to the race, but there is a cutoff on that. Where the mugs are manufactured, there's no way for us to change that. And so, you know, there is a little bit of a lead time that you have to change the category should you need to do it. But after the mid-March cutoff date, when the mugs are set and made, we cannot change that. And so what tends to happen is if you fall out of one category and going to place you into a next, the category mug awards become uneven. There's no way for us to change that, but we'll do the best we can to accommodate everybody to make those changes. So speaking about the categories, and since there were a number of questions about who's eligible to be in the categories, I'm going to review what the categories are and take a look at it and see if you fall into the right category. If you look where the categories are, if you look on the website, on the right side, you'll find a little rule book icon. You click on that and it'll bring you to the different chapters within the rule book. Well, chapter 1 on the very first page describes the categories. And right now we have 15 of those categories. If you look at that printout, the top 10 listed on that category sheet are for all sworn only, all sworn. So those include the open division, mixed, women, 800, the 500 category. Unfortunately, we had too few teams and we had to delete that category. So the teams that were in there have elected to be in another category. The 300, the 150, the 99, the station, and the station mixed. Those are all sworn categories only. So if you have a non-sworn in there, you cannot be in one of those categories. Now, from here on out is a combination of non-sworn and sworn. That's the invitational mixed, the 500 invitational, the invitational mixed 800, and the guest category. When we're talking about non-sworn personnel, you have to have a minimum of 2 full-time paid employees of your agency. You cannot have 1. You can have more than 2. But remember, if you have 2, and say something happens and that runner has to drop out midstream or in the middle of their run, they have to be replaced with a non-sworn personnel. So you have to start with at least 2 non-sworn and finish with at least 2 non-sworn personnel. And that holds the same for the mixed division, where you have to have at least 5 females. So if a female drops out during that particular stage, they have to be replaced with a female runner to be qualified as a complete team. Also get questions about retired personnel, whether they can run on your team. If they have retired from your agency, they can run on your team and they are still considered to be sworn. Okay, moving on. Now, I've also received a lot of questions about the construction on Highway 160 and what the procedures will be. So let me update you on where we're at with that. At the end of the month, on exactly February the 27th, myself and a few other people will go up and meet with the powers to be at the top of Stage 16 at the top of Mountain Springs Pass. We will assess the construction to date and make a decision on which way we're going to proceed with the race. So we have 2 options. And option A is the hopeful option, which is we'll be able to run unobstructed from the start line all the way to the finish line at the Ria Hotel. That's the best hope, the best scenario. The last time I was up there looking at the construction, that was not runnable at that time. So the road doesn't have to be fully completed for us to run on it. We're hoping that they have progressed further enough where we're able to use a portion of that roadway and we can continue the run unobstructed. That's the best deal we can hope for. Whether we're going to get there or not, I'm not sure. But after February 27th, I will put it out either in emails or at the next meeting in March. as to which way we're going to proceed. Now, option B. This is the option we hope we don't have to do, and it'll be, for those of you that were around in 2019, it'll almost be a repeat of that same scenario, which is we will stop at some point prior to the top of the mountain or at the archery range, which was stage 16. The other option where we stopped last year was just prior to the mountaintop. Again, with the construction, we're not exactly sure where that point is going to be if we need to stop there or pause the race. If we have to pause it at that particular point, from that point on, the runner that just completed that leg will get into the follow vehicle, and all of those personnel will then travel down to the stage 17 at the bottom of the hill, which is on the Las Vegas side of the mountain. The objective right here is not to have a lot of people. There's not a lot of roadway or parking on the roadway if we need to stop it. And so that's the reason why we'll have no parking when the runner finishes that stage. The runner will simply get in the follow vehicle, or we'll drive down the hill. We'll try to keep the flow of traffic moving as best as possible. Again, I attached the running procedures for this, or the planned procedure, should we need this. I sent it out with the email yesterday. Please review it. Let me know if you have any questions on that. When it gets to volunteers, your volunteer assignment, the due date for the volunteer category, volunteer form, I should say, will be right in the middle of February, and we're starting to make phone calls and get those in. A lot of you have submitted those forms already. Towards the end of the month, when we have them all in, we'll figure out which assignment your volunteer is going to be assigned to. At that point, we will email the captain, the co-captain, and the volunteer of that particular assignment. Should there be any changes to the volunteer, you would simply email me, give me the information of the new volunteer, and make sure that the information that was sent out is then relayed to your new volunteer. Both of us will be responsible to do that. I'll send out another email to the new volunteer, and it'll be your obligation to do that as well. One of the volunteer assignments is a light tower driver. And we've had this for many years, and year after year we try to keep the same personnel doing that function. Well, one of the volunteers this year is unable to return, and so I am looking for a volunteer driver to pull one of the light towers. Now, there is a gas stipend that goes with that for the volunteer assignment, but this person, if they volunteer to do this, we're not looking for a heavy-duty truck to pull this light tower, but the vehicle that they're using has to have a ball attached to it to pull the light tower. There's no hookups for electrical that they need. It's simply pulling a light tower to one of the stages, and I will give the information on that. If you have someone that's interested from your team that's interested in volunteering for this assignment, please email me. It'll be on a first-come, first-served basis. I just need one. A couple of the due dates. I mentioned the volunteer form that's due February the 19th. Also around the middle of the month is the communication form. That is due February the 14th. Every team in the race needs to fill one out, regardless if you're using communication equipment or not. The link is on the website under the Team Captains button. Fill that out and just hit the submit button and we will get that. The runner registration portal, that's been up and running. I've emailed everybody their password. If you did not get that password, please email me or call me and I'll give it to you. But if you could, please get on that portal and start filling out some of your runners. By now you should have at least a couple. You know what your name is at least. Fill that in, and at least I know that you've touched this form and started looking at it. It's when it's completely blank that we start to wonder if you've even had a chance to look at that, and we usually follow up with a few phone calls. For those officers or personnel that had passed away this past year, we honor them in a couple of ways. There's 3 different ways we honor them. We can place a picture of them on your team bib number. And Ruben's going to scan in on the bib itself. And this is what the bib looks like. On the left side, we place a photograph of that individual along with your team number and your team name. If you wish to do that for someone that has passed away within the last year, I need that emailed to me in a JPEG format, so it has to be attached. Don't embed it in the actual email, it has to be attached, along with how you want that read. For example, officer, whoever that is, and their serial number, and the agency is already attached to the bib. So the deadline on this, because I have to turn around and give it to the printing company, the company that makes the bibs, is Monday, February the 24th. I need that in hand so I can get this turned around and get it back in time. What I normally do with that is we send it off to a person that edits the photograph. I will then email you back the photograph, the edited version, just to make sure you're okay with it, and then it gets placed on the bib. Again, the deadline on that, Monday, February the 24th. The second way we honor these people is a decal that is placed on the bib. And on this one, we have the person's initials, and I'll point to it on the camera right here. And it's kind of hard to see because we can't do a close-up on it, but it has the individual's initials, the last name, and the serial number, and that's about all we have the room to put on the decal for the baton. So that's another way to honor them. Now, some people choose to do both, some just do one, some just do the other. But for both of these, the deadline is the same, Monday, February the 24th. Third way to honor an individual that has passed is at the award ceremony. In the email that I sent out yesterday, there's instructions and a link on how to do that. It's on the website under Memorial Show. You click on that link, and Ruben Crane, the general manager, does what he needs to do with that information from that website. This is displayed at the award ceremony. And so if you need to have this done, please, there is a time limit on all of this stuff. Make sure it gets in as quickly as possible. Hotel information. The Rio Hotel our room block is sold out. Last time we checked with them, they had a few rooms available on the Friday night and the Sunday night, but from what I understand, Saturday night is all booked up. We have attempted to get more rooms from the room block, but we were unable to do that. So from my understanding, the hotel is almost completely filled up. So I would suggest that you start looking at alternate hotels in the area, and if things should change with the Rio Hotel, we will let you know that. That is all the information I have. I've tried to keep this broadcast relatively short because I did send out the notes yesterday with some other information. Please review that. If you have any additional questions, if you are having difficulty assembling your team, at this point, I'm sure you were aware people are starting to back out on you. Volunteers have to rearrange their sock drawer. All that kind of stuff that happens, please give me a call. We're here to help you. We want to make sure that you're able to attend and enjoy this race. We'll do whatever we can to help you out and make that that dream come true for you. Thank you very much, and we will see you at the next meeting on March the 4th. Thank you very much.